how Green Street Green, on the outskirts of Orpington, Kent, has changed in the 39 years up to 2023. In the early 1980s, I was very concerned about the number of old buildings disappearing, so I photographed Orpington and the surrounding areas and bits of London, focusing on listed, locally listed and interesting looking buildings. I've come back in 2023 to see what has changed and also what I missed. Please stay to the end for all the details. I hope you enjoy. Please like and subscribe. Brought to you by Eclectic Experience. Change seen through images. If we start with the map, Green Street Green is located here. It's in Kent, but part of the London Borough of Bromley. It's on the edge of Orpington, right next to the A21 and close to the M25. Looking at a more detailed map from Historic England, the triangles mark the listed structures. I'm highlighting the ones we are looking at in this video, looking at the ones which are coal posts, a house and a milestone. I will cover all of them during the video. All of these structures are Grade 2 listed. If we zoom in to where Green Street Green High Street almost joins the A21 at the roundabout and start with a well-known local pub and restaurant. The Royal Oak pub is very prominent on the A21 and can also be accessed from the High Street. Here's a picture of it in 1984 from the High Street side. The pub was originally in the building next door, currently occupied by the Bombay restaurant, seen here in 2023 and then in 1984. We'll come back to the 1984 photo. The Royal Oak moved into a house called the Elms in the 1930s. Part of the original house can be seen here. It was remodelled in the early 1980s when the mock Oast House roundel was added at the end. Despite all the restyling, many parts of the original house can still be seen. On the other side of the A21 is another pub that has moved, the Rose and Crown. It was built in the 1920s to replace the previous pub with the same name that was demolished to make way for the A21. The original pub had used to serve the Fox's ales from the large oak brewery that dominated Green Street Green until it closed in 1909. Looking from the roundabout, if we move round from the Rose and Crown and zoom in, we see a post. It's in between a post box and a fire hydrant marker. Moving out and coming further round the roundabout, we see another one. These are actually coal tax posts from the 19th century. When I first saw one of these posts in 1984, I wondered what on earth it was. So I took a photo of this one on the Crescent on the way to Orpington and photographed it again in 2023. I've now done some research and found they are boundary markers for paying coal duty or tax on the import of coal into the City of London. The rules around coal duties have been changed from time to time since they were introduced in the medieval period. The coal posts we are looking at were erected as a result of the 1861 Act of Parliament, which changed the boundary that taxes were due on. It was changed to the Metropolitan Police District. The posts marked the boundary. The duty wasn't actually collected at these points, but they were there to inform that once past them, it was due. There are actually over 200 of these posts circling London. There are amazingly 5 posts in the Green Street Green area. They all have the City of London shield and the numbers 4 and 25, then Vict Cap 42 on the post, which we can see more clearly now that the numbers have been highlighted with paint. But what do these numbers mean? Well, 4 and 25 confusingly refer to the 24th and 25th years of Queen Victoria's reign, and Cap 42 is the 42nd Act of Parliament in that session. So the numbers give the source of the authority to collect tax. If you want to find out more about coal posts, there is a very thorough website called coaldutypost.org. There is a link in the description below. These coal posts were only in use for about 30 years when the duty was abolished, and the irony is most coal would travel by boat and train, so they would have actually been of limited use. Looking at this photo of the curved building, it is unusual. In 1984, as well as the curved wall, what really stands out is the billboard that's now gone. It looks like it's a health and safety advert. Double glazing that does not open could keep you shut in for good. Then, if you DIY, think of fire. I'm guessing it's referring to old secondary double glazing that could be fixed in place and would not open. But, also showing its age, it was an advert from the GLC, the Greater London Council, that was actually abolished in 1986. Moving across the street to the only statutory listed building on the High Street, leaving aside coal posts, this is Hurst, a Grade 2 listed building. Here it is in 1984. According to Historic England's database, it is an L-shaped, circa 18th century building with 19th century additions. It has an outside chimney stack with flint at the bottom and brick at the top. The building is now part of a gated community where new houses behind the gate were built in the early 2000s, mainly I think in the garden of Hurst. Back on the other side of the road is the old school, which dates from 1851. It is locally listed. Back in 1984, it was still a school. If we zoom in, we can see it was Green Street Green Primary School, the sign being the London Borough Bromley light blue with the white band at the bottom. But by 2023, like many old school buildings, such as Farnborough and Chislehurst Road, its use had changed. It is now a stroke rehabilitation centre. The buildings look pretty much the same. Unusually, so does the fence. The base looks the same, as does the design of the wood on the top. Moving along, I have got to comment on an amazing road name, World's End Lane. Why on earth was it called this, and what used to be at the end of the road? I don't know, but I'm very interested to find out. Moving on to pubs, which I do know about. Unfortunately, I didn't photograph all the pubs back in 1984, though I have been in them all. And as an aside, it is really good to see that unlike Orpington High Street, which in 2023 only has one pub remaining, all three are still here. This is the Queen's Head. I've actually struggled to find out how old the old building is. But on the pubhistory.com website, the earliest entry for a resident at a Queen's Head is 1828-9. But of course, I don't know if the building is still the same. Back in 1984, I was impressed by the various styles of houses, where as well as brick, there was flint facing, painted and weatherboarding. The flint houses are pretty much unchanged. But moving along to the shops, Johnny of Bromley has gone, as have most of the other shops. Also, the big clock has disappeared. Moving on, these two shops have been converted to domestic houses, but the unit with Capricorn as a sign now has a pitched roof and is a kebab shop. The last block of weatherboarded houses looks pretty much the same, but the space on the right is now filled with a house. We can see all of the changes looking at the 2023 videos. As discussed earlier, up until 1909, Green Street Green had been dominated by the Oak Brewery, run by the Fox family, Fox and Sons. The site of the brewery has completely gone now. Unfortunately, I did not get any picture of the site in 1984. However, this is the 1897 Ordnance Survey map showing where the site is and is clearly labelled. This is a 1970s Street View map which shows the space where the factory had been, and then a modern map showing the new streets, Superior Drive and Winnipeg Drive, that have been created on the old site. As an aside, to show how much things have changed, the advert in the jacket cover of this map was marketing brick concrete and in the middle asbestos garages. It really does show you how things have moved on. Moving towards Orpington, just outside Waitrose, there is another Grade 2 listing. It is a milestone. According to Historic England, it is early to mid 19th century and is made of limestone with a plate that reads Sevenoaks 9 and London 15. That's obviously miles. The milestone is here as this used to be a major turnpike road from 1718 onwards. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If so, please click the like button. I'll be making more similar videos, so please like and subscribe for future releases. Links to more videos on how Kent and London have changed can be seen at the end. Thank you for watching Eclectic Experience, change seen through images.